The story will be told from the perspective of the main female character.
I never planned to find out anything. I was just using Megan's old phone. She had thrown it into a drawer like it was useless. Mine was dead and I needed to check something quickly. While I was holding it, a notification popped up on the screen. It was a group chat I didn't recognize. I tapped it without thinking. The second I read the messages, my chest locked up. She's so pathetic. She'll always put us first, even when we treat her like trash. The names above the messages belonged to my own family. Karen, Megan, my mother, my sister, talking about me. I didn't cry, I didn't yell. I just stared at the screen until it went dark again. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me this. Where are you listening from? And honestly, what would you have done if you were me before that night? From the outside, my life looked fine. Calm, even, a quiet New Jersey suburb, a small house, a family that smiled in photos but never relaxed together in the same room. For a long time, I thought that was normal. I told myself every home felt tense, like one wrong word could break something. I learned early how to stay unnoticed. Karen liked it that way. She said it made life easier. Megan never stayed unnoticed. She was 3 years older than me, loud, confident, and treated like the center of gravity. Every room shifted when she walked in. She had the confidence Karen admired, the plans Karen supported, the needs Karen rushed to meet without hesitation. And then there was me, Lauren. I cooked dinner after school, I sorted mail, I paid bills when Karen forgot, I picked Megan up from parties because family shows up. I worked a full-time office job, but at home I was still expected to catch everything that spilled over, every problem, every delay, every mess. At the time I didn't think it was unfair. Not at first, kids grow into whatever role they're given. Mine was simple, keep things calm, be useful, don't complain. So I didn't. I woke up early to pack lunches. I cleaned the kitchen before work. I sent payments from my account when Karen promised she'd pay me back next week. I listened to Megan talk for hours about dresses, bridesmaids, venues, color palettes, every detail of her wedding, every expense she assumed I would help cover. She liked to say, "You know I can't do this without you." Karen would back her up. "Your sister is under so much pressure." Neither of them ever asked if I was. The hardest part wasn't the work. It was how invisible I felt while being expected to hold everything together. I would set dinner on the table, and Karen would criticize the seasoning before even tasting it. Megan would scroll on her phone while I talked, only looking up when she needed something. There was a moment last month that stuck with me, small, meaningless to them, heavy to me. I had just finished a 10-hour shift, my feet hurt, my head was pounding, I wanted silence. Instead, Karen handed me a handwritten list of wedding errands. Megan added casually, "Oh, and I need you to transfer the venue deposit tomorrow. It's easier if you handle it." No, please, no, is that okay? Just assumption. Back then I still believed their love was complicated, not conditional. I still wanted to belong, I wanted them to see me, I wanted to matter. Then I read that group chat. Seeing my name next to their laughter broke something open. What came out wasn't sadness, it was clarity, the kind that doesn't let you go back. The next morning the house looked the same, but it felt different. I moved through it like someone already gone. Karen called from the kitchen, telling me to hurry because Megan needed help finalizing her wedding budget. I answered the way I always did. "Coming." The word felt empty, like it didn't belong to me anymore. At breakfast, Megan complained about her florist overcharging her. Karen agreed, talking about how people take advantage of brides. Both of them looked at me like I was the obvious solution. I stirred my coffee and ignored the sting behind my eyes. Megan leaned forward and tapped her manicured nails against my mug. "You're still sending the venue deposit today, right? They'll only hold the date until this afternoon." I forced a smile. "Yeah, I'll handle it." She nodded, satisfied. She didn't notice my grip tightening on the mug. The rest of the week passed in a fog. I watched them more closely than ever. It felt like watching a show I'd memorized but never understood. Megan left her laundry on the couch, sure I'd fold it. Karen asked for just a little help with her bills again. They expected, they assumed, they took. And every time those words came back, "She's so pathetic. She'll always put us first." They weren't joking, they believed it. That realization hollowed me out. That Friday night I sat alone in my room after work, staring at my reflection in the dark window. The woman looking back wasn't pathetic. She was exhausted, she was hurt. But there was something else there too, something awake, sharp, ready. That was when everything started to tilt. The change did not come all at once. It didn't announce itself. It didn't feel dramatic. It moved in quietly, settling somewhere deep, the kind of shift you only notice after it has already happened. That same evening, Megan opened my bedroom door without knocking. She had her phone in her hand, her jaw tight, her patience already gone. "The venue keeps calling," she said. "They still don't have the payment. Did you even send it?" I lifted my eyes to her slowly. "I thought I did." She let out a sharp breath. "Well, clearly you didn't. Can you do it now? Mom already told them you're handling it." That sentence stayed with me longer than the rest. Mom already told them. Down the hallway, I could hear Karen's voice carrying from the kitchen. She was on the phone, speaking in the familiar tone she always used when committing my time and money without asking. "Lauren will take care of it. She always does." Always. I sat there for a moment, letting the words settle. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel shocked. I felt something quieter than that, something solid. I stood up and Megan paused, like she sensed something had shifted even if she didn't understand what. My voice came out steady. "I'll check it." She frowned. "Can you be serious for once? This is my wedding." I nodded slightly. I said I'll take care of it. That was enough for her. She turned and walked away, satisfied, already moving on to the next thing she expected from me. She didn't know that something had started to change. Neither of them did. Over the next few days, I didn't confront anyone. I didn't argue. I didn't pull away in any obvious way. From the outside, everything stayed exactly the same. I still woke up before sunrise. I still brewed coffee for 3. I still packed my lunch in the same container I had used for years. I still answered when Karen called my name. I still nodded when Megan talked about her wedding plans. But inside, I was watching. Every request sounded different now. Every sigh, every "Lauren, can you?" stopped feeling like responsibility and started feeling like evidence. I noticed how Megan left her laundry on the couch without saying a word, already certain I would fold it. I noticed how Karen slid her unopened bills toward me without explanation, without thanks. One evening, Karen called me into the living room, holding a stack of envelopes. "Can you sort these out for me, sweetheart? I'm exhausted." I took them. My hands didn't shake. I didn't feel guilty. I just felt distance. Megan wandered in and dropped onto the couch next to her. "The bakery wants the cake payment by next week," she said. "You'll handle that too, right?" I nodded the same way I always had. The reliable answer, the safe answer. While they talked, I lowered my phone into my lap. I wasn't moving money yet. I was just looking, checking numbers, doing the math I had avoided for years. Adding up overtime hours, missed lunches, paychecks that never stayed mine for long. That night when the house was quiet, I sat alone in my room and opened a notebook. I didn't write a goodbye letter. I didn't make a dramatic plan. I just listed what belonged to me and what didn't. My income, my savings, my time, my life. For the first time, I didn't include them in those calculations. A few days later, during my lunch break at work, I walked into a bank branch I had never used before. I sat across from a woman who smiled politely and asked how she could help. My voice stayed calm as I asked about opening a new account. I didn't rush. I didn't hesitate. That afternoon, I didn't move everything. I moved a portion, enough to know I could, enough to know it was possible. That night, while Megan was in the shower and Karen watched television, I pulled a small suitcase out from under my bed. I didn't pack everything. I folded only what mattered: work clothes, a sweater I bought on sale last winter, a framed photo from before my role in the family had been turned into an obligation. I slid the suitcase back into the closet. No one noticed. The next day, during another lunch break, I toured a tiny studio apartment across town. It was small, quiet, clean. The manager handed me a lease and gave me time to read it. I didn't rush this either. I signed it slowly. When she gave me the key, she smiled. Fresh start. I nodded. This time it felt real. At home, nothing changed on the surface. Megan complained about vendors. Karen complained about money. They still assumed. They still expected. They still spoke about my time as if it was already theirs. 2 nights later, Megan burst into my room again. Her mascara was smudged, her curls tangled, frustration spilling over. The venue called again, she said. If they don't get the payment tonight, the date is gone. Why hasn't it been sent? I looked up from my laptop. I thought Mom handled it. Megan's voice jumped. Are you serious? She told them you were doing it. You always do. Karen appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. We need that money, Lauren. Stop dragging your feet. Your sister's wedding can't fall apart because you're being emotional. I closed my laptop carefully. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I'll take care of it. Megan hesitated, confused for the first time. Karen didn't notice. She huffed and walked away, muttering under her breath. I watched them go. My heart was steady. They still believed I was exactly who I had always been to them. And for now, I let them believe it. The breaking point came on a Wednesday night, the kind of evening where the air feels heavy even inside the house. I had just walked in after work and barely set my bag down when I heard my name echo through the hallway. Lauren. Megan's voice sounded sharp and unsteady at the same time. I followed it into the living room. She was packing with her phone pressed to her ear, mascara streaked under her eyes, her face tight with panic. Karen stood nearby with her arms crossed, her expression irritated rather than concerned. They just called again, Megan snapped the moment she saw me. The venue is releasing the date. They said the payment never came. You said you'd handle it. Karen pointed at me. Stop playing games. Send the money now. Your sister is falling apart. I set my bag on the floor and looked at them, really looked. Megan wasn't upset because she felt bad. She was upset because something she expected was slipping away. Karen didn't look worried at all. She looked like a tool she relied on had stopped working. I took a breath. I don't have that money anymore. The room went still. Megan blinked. What? I don't have it, I repeated. I used it. Karen stepped closer. Used it for what? For myself. Megan's face twisted like she'd been hit. You spent my wedding money on you. It was never your money, I said calmly. It was mine, every paycheck, every overtime shift, all of it. Her voice rose. Are you out of your mind? I told everyone you were covering the deposit. You promised. I never promised, I said. You demanded. Karen cut in, her voice low and sharp. I didn't raise you to be selfish. That almost made me laugh. You didn't raise me, you used me. Megan shook her head fast. Stop talking like this, you're just stressed. She grabbed my arm. We need that money. I pulled away. I'm not giving you anything. Her voice cracked. Lauren, this is my wedding. This is my life. Karen exhaled hard like she was done pretending. If you walk away now, don't expect anything from us. No support, no family. That was the moment I realized she thought that was a threat. I'm not walking away, I said. I'm leaving. I reached behind the couch and pulled out the suitcase I had packed days earlier. Megan stumbled back. You planned this? She asked. Yes. I looked at Karen. What did you think would happen? That I'd read what you wrote about me and keep paying, keep fixing everything, keep pretending? Megan's lip trembled. We didn't mean it like that. You meant every word. Karen's jaw tightened. If you go, you'll regret it. I met her eyes. For the first time, her power didn't reach me. I already regret staying. I walked toward the door. Behind me, Megan cried out, How could you do this to me? I didn't answer. I opened the door, rolled my suitcase out, and left the house where I had spent years shrinking myself to fit their expectations. When the door closed behind me, it felt like something finally ended. My new apartment was small, quiet, bare, but when I stepped inside, it felt like breathing for the first time. I slept without fear of someone knocking on my door asking for favors. I bought groceries for myself. I cooked what I wanted. I sat on the floor eating dinner in silence. Peace, a kind I had never known. The first week Megan's messages came non-stop. You ruined everything. Are you happy now? You're heartless, I blocked her. Then Karen emailed me. I hope you're proud of yourself. You broke this family, I deleted it. Then Mark messaged me. She's devastated. Your mom can't sleep. Why are you doing this to them? I didn't respond. The only message I kept was from Rachel. I heard what happened. I'm proud of you. They never deserved what you gave. I read it more than once. Something warm settled in my chest. 3 weeks later, I saw Megan at a coffee shop downtown. She looked smaller. Her posture slumped. The confidence she used to wear like armor was gone. When she saw me, her eyes widened. Lauren, she said softly, can we talk? For a second, old instincts pulled at me. The urge to fix, to comfort, to step in. Those instincts belonged to the girl they called pathetic. I walked past her, ordered my coffee, and left. When I glanced back through the window, she was still standing there, waiting for a version of me that no longer existed. 4 days later, someone knocked on my apartment door, hard, relentless. I knew that knock. I opened the door just enough to see Karen standing in the hallway, arms crossed, her face set like stone. You look well, she said. There was no warmth in her eyes. What do you want? I asked. Let me in. No. Her jaw tightened. We need to talk. Then talked, I said, right here. She tried everything. Guilt, anger, memories, logic. None of it reached me. You owe us, she said finally. After everything we've done for you. I shook my head. You didn't do things for me, you took from me, and I'm done. Her face collapsed, not with sadness, but with the realization that she no longer had control. I stepped back and closed the door. This time, the silence on the other side felt like victory. I stepped out of the house, suitcase in hand, and felt the night air press against me. It was cool, heavy, but it felt mine for the first time in years. Each step down the sidewalk was deliberate, a quiet confirmation that I was leaving behind everything they had demanded of me. The streetlights stretched long shadows across the pavement, and with each one I felt a little lighter, a little more myself. By the time I reached my new apartment, my legs were tired, but I moved slowly, deliberately. I unlocked the door, rolled the suitcase inside, and set it down on the bare floor. The space was small, quiet, empty, but for the first time I felt it belonged to me. I unpacked only what mattered: work clothes, a sweater I had bought last winter, a framed photo from a time before my life had been reduced to chores and obligations. I sat on the floor for a moment, listening to the silence around me. No one was asking for anything. No one was judging, criticizing, or expecting. I breathed in deeply, feeling the weight I had carried for years start to lift. The first steps of this new life were small, cautious, but they were mine. In the days that followed, I settled into my new apartment. It was small, bare, but it felt like breathing for the first time. I woke up without that familiar dread weighing on me. I cooked what I wanted, ate in peace, bought groceries for myself without calculating who else would benefit, and slept without fear that someone would barge in asking for a favor. Every action felt like reclaiming a piece of my life. At work, I laughed with colleagues who genuinely liked my presence. I realized I had never known quiet before, real quiet, not filled with obligation or expectation. For the first time, my future felt like something I could choose, not something assigned to me, and the more distance I gained from them, the clearer it became. Losing them wasn't a tragedy. It was freedom. Word of what had happened reached me slowly through the few relatives I hadn't blocked. Megan's wedding had collapsed. The venue gave the date away. Vendors backed out. Without someone else managing the money, the schedules, the crises, the whole thing fell apart. Megan's confidence, the same confidence she had always worn like armor, had finally crumbled. Karen, without me paying bills, running errands, fixing problems, was drowning under responsibilities she had previously passed on to me. I watched this from a distance, quietly, and while they struggled, my life became lighter, calmer. I discovered the small, almost invisible things that had been stolen from me all those years: peace, control, the ability to make my own decisions. I was finally living for myself. About a month later, I saw them again. Karen and Megan were sitting in a small cafe near downtown. They looked diminished somehow. Megan's shoulders were slumped, her posture heavy, her eyes dull and tired. Karen stared into her coffee as if it contained the answer to everything she had lost. They didn't notice me at first. When they finally did, their faces changed. First hope, then fear, then a flicker of regret. For a brief moment, part of me considered stepping forward. Part of me wanted to fix things, to comfort, to return to the old pattern. But those impulses belonged to the girl they had called pathetic. She no longer existed. I gave them one small nod, just acknowledgement, nothing more. Then I walked back out into the bright afternoon, leaving them behind. Finally, for the first time in years, I was free.